The dust of conflict rarely settles evenly. In Gaza, a new wave of sorrow recently washed over its weary inhabitants. This was not the abstract pain of a distant conflict. Imagine a home, once filled with the chaotic symphony of 7 young voices, suddenly plunged into silence. This silence, heavier than any collapsed building, is the immediate legacy of a single devastating airstrike. It speaks of futures erased in an instant. This is the story of Dr. Farid Ibrahim, a man dedicated to mending bodies who now faces the impossible task of mending a spirit shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. His 7 children are gone. They were not soldiers. They were children, whose only crime was to be born in a land where peace remains an elusive dream. The weight of such a loss is almost impossible to comprehend. It is a fundamentally human tragedy, one that calls out from the rubble. The news spread like a shockwave, first through the narrow alleys of the Nusayrat refugee camp, then across the besieged strip, and finally, out to a watching world. 7 children, 7 individual lights, snuffed out. For Dr. Ibrahim, the world itself had irrevocably changed. His hands, skilled in healing, could do nothing to save his own. The Nusayrat refugee camp became the unwilling stage for this act of devastation. Eyewitness accounts paint a picture of sudden, terrifying violence. One moment, the ordinary sounds of life, the next, an earth-shattering explosion. For the residents of Nusayrat, this was another horrific chapter in an ongoing saga of suffering. The news of Dr. Ibrahim's children sent a particular chill through the community. Neighbors rushed to help, but it was too late for the 7 young souls. The target, whatever it may have been, resulted in the obliteration of innocent lives. The sky, which should offer protection, had instead delivered death. Dr. Farid Ibrahim was known as a man of science and compassion. His days were spent tending to the sick and injured. His hands, steady and skilled, had brought comfort to many. The healer himself is now in desperate need of healing. Imagine this man, who had sworn an oath to preserve life, now standing amidst the ruins of his own family. His 7 children were his world, his hope for the future. Now that sanctuary is a tomb. Colleagues and patients speak of Dr. Ibrahim with deep respect. The loss of his children is not just a personal tragedy, it is a blow to the community he served. The psychological toll on Dr. Ibrahim is unimaginable. How does one continue? How does a man whose life was about mending find a way to piece together the fragments of his own shattered existence? His grief is a heavy burden, shared by all who hear his story. The tragedy of Dr. Ibrahim's 7 children is not an anomaly in Gaza. For decades, the children of this narrow coastal strip have been born into a world defined by blockade, poverty, and recurrent conflict. Innocence is a fragile commodity here, easily shattered by the harsh realities of their environment. These children deserve futures filled with opportunity and joy, not fear and uncertainty. Statistics paint a grim picture. In every round of escalation, children constitute a shockingly high proportion of the casualties. Those who survive often bear physical and psychological scars that last a lifetime. Health officials in Gaza have repeatedly voiced their despair. The story of Dr. Ibrahim's children must be seen within this broader, tragic context. Their deaths highlight the urgent need for protection for Gaza's children. The news of the airstrike that claimed the lives of Dr. Farid Ibrahim's 7 children rippled outwards, eliciting shock, grief, and condemnation from around the globe. From humanitarian organizations to individual citizens, voices rose in a chorus of sorrow and outrage. The image of a healer losing his own children struck a particularly painful chord. International bodies and human rights groups were quick to express their dismay. On social media platforms, the reaction was visceral and immediate. Hashtags trended as people shared their grief and anger. These digital expressions of empathy served as a powerful reminder that the world was watching. Yet alongside the grief, there was also a palpable sense of frustration. The challenge lies in translating this global outpouring of sympathy into concrete actions. The story of Dr. Farid Ibrahim and his 7 children is a wound on the conscience of humanity. It forces us to confront the raw human cost of conflict. Their memory demands more than fleeting sympathy. It demands a commitment to change. We must ask ourselves, how many more children must perish before the world says enough? This is about reaffirming the sanctity of every human life, especially that of a child. The path forward requires us to listen to these stories and let that empathy fuel a desire for a different reality. It means supporting those who work for reconciliation. The children of Gaza deserve to inherit a world where their lives are cherished. Let us not forget Dr. Farid Ibrahim and his 7 children. Their memory must be a beacon, guiding us towards a more humane world.